Welcome to another episode of the EVERBLACK Podcast. I'm your host, Nev. On this show, we are joined by legendary guitarist Marty Friedman, who will be heading down under for his first Australian solo tour, and it's going to be unreal. He's bringing his super band from Japan with him, and each of those members are the highest caliber. It's just going to be face-meltingly awesome. I remember the first time hearing Marty play was Rust in Peace, when my best buddy Shane brought back the CD from a family trip overseas, and Holy Wars just melted our faces off, and we haven't been the same since. Marty's just, not only can he just shred, he's an awesome songwriter as well, and his last couple albums like Wall of Sound and Inferno are just so catchy and awesome to drive to as well, and I can't wait to hear some of those tracks live. Marty's tour kicks off on Wednesday, December 11th at the Crowbar in Sydney, Thursday, December 12th at the Crowbar in Brisbane, Friday, December 13th at the Bendigo Hotel in Melbourne, that one's sold out, Saturday, December 14th at the Basement in Canberra, and then Sunday, December 15th at the Evelyn Hotel in Melbourne. That's a new show, and he's doing a masterclass at each venue at 5 o'clock beforehand. They're only limited spots, so don't miss out on that. Tickets are available through www.pinnaclemusic.eventbrite.com, and there's also a special VIP package available through Marty's website. It's going to be unreal. Before we go into the chat with Marty Friedman, I do have to mention our good friends Blacklight Art and Design, who are our go-to for all our screen printing needs. They do shirts, hats, patches, you name it. If you can wear it, they can print it. They've done all our shirts and hats for EVERBLACK Media, and they're great guys, always helpful. Highly recommend checking them out at www.blacklightad.com.au. The show is also brought to you by our good friends at RW Promotion, who are the best in the biz when it comes to stickers, flyers, banners, badges, and all other promo you need for your band or business. Go check them out at www.rwpromotion.com.au. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the EVERBLACK Podcast through iTunes Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Spreaker, YouTube, and Facebook, where we upload all our interviews to. And check out all our reviews and articles at www.everblackmedia.com. Chuck us a like on all the socials and help us spread the word. We really appreciate it, guys. All right, here is my chat with Marty Friedman. That's not Martin Freeman, not the actor from The Hobbit. Marty Friedman, guys. Don't get that wrong. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to see Marty. And that's only a couple of weeks away, so get your tickets before the tour sells out, guys. You have been warned. They are selling like hotcakes. Enjoy, horns high, and we'll see you there. Hello, Marty.
Hey, pretty good. How you doing, man?
Dude, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for joining us. We're absolutely pumped for you to come down here for your Australian tour next month. And I know you've toured here before, but I'm trying to remember when that was. It's been a while, though.
Wow, I've only been to Australia twice, and the most recent time was in 2010. Maybe we spoke then when I was there, and I was in maybe 3 or 4 different cities. But this is the first time that I've ever gone there to play with my band as a solo, as my band. So this is really my first time actually doing the proper tour over there with my band. And I've been there before, but my band has never set foot in Australia, so everybody's just beyond excited about it.
So many people are losing their minds over it now. I mean, look, the first Melbourne show is sold out already. Another one added. That must be pretty exciting for you guys too, knowing that, the demand.
Yeah, that's great. I have no idea what to expect because I never played there before. So I'm just really, really stoked that there's so much great support for what I'm doing, and I'm sure everybody's gonna love my band. I mean, they might come to see me, but when they leave that concert, they're going to be, more excited about my band than they are of me because they outshine me every single night.
Do you know what's funny about that? I do know guys who are big fans of your band and your roster of musicians. Who you got coming down with you?
Well, it's I've got a new album called One Bad MF, and it's basically that team, and it's kind of going to be the closest that you can get to that live album is what you're going to get. It's really hard to explain my band members. There are certain people around the world who are able to do what necessary in my band, and gone through extensive, intense training to do it. And these few people are almost interchangeable because there's so few of them. They've gone through such incredible training to do such a thing. So, like I said, it's the top priority is that they have to be more. They have to get more attention than I do when we play. They can't just be there in the background. They really have to play. You know, they really have to be there. So I think you'll really enjoy the band members.
Is it Kiyoshi Manny? Is that how you pronounce her name? Is she playing with you?
Yeah, Kiyoshi. Yes, she is. Kiyoshi is. She's my bass player for many, many years. One of the few who have played, you know, the most shows with me, and really a fantastic bassist and a fantastic artist in her own right is Kiyoshi. She has her own albums, and she just finished her 4th album, which hopefully she'll bring down to Australia to, you know, introduce to the fans that come and see or play with me.
She's incredible. She is such an absolute machine on that bass. I can't wait to see her play live.
Oh, you've seen her play?
Oh, just on video.
Yes.
Oh, what is your auditioning process like? I mean, you say that, you know, they got to go through a lot to keep up, but when it comes to auditioning these guys, other than musical ability, what do you look for?
Oh, yeah, you're right to say other than musical ability, because musical ability has to be pretty much taken for granted. You know, it's beyond that. It's like a showmanship type of thing. It's kind of an attitude. I think Kiyoshi's a perfect example. She's got her own thing. When she plays, she's not just mimicking what I'm doing. She's doing her own thing that works in my music really well. And you'll see the same thing with my guitarist and drummer as well. The auditioning process, it's really, it's quite crazy. It's quite difficult, I think, for the people who want to do it. And there are many people who have the musical ability to do what I need. But beyond that, it's kind of stamina. It's kind of image and appearance. You know, there are people that play fantastically, but maybe they look like they work in a bank or sell insurance or something. You know,
yeah.
And that's not going to work. You know, I want, like I said before, I really want them to take a lot of the attention. You know, I want every person to take an equal amount of attention, so it feels like a band. So in the audition process, you know, I want to think, wow, am I covering for this guy, or is he holding his own? You know what I mean? So nobody walks away from the concert feeling like there was a weak link in there, you know. And that's pretty much the whole process. And you kind of learn that over time as well. Sometimes it took a little while to get the people. For example, I played with Takeyoshi Omura a lot when I toured Europe, and in the early teens, we did a lot of stuff together. And I've known him since he was a teen, but I never thought about having him in the band till he was quite older. And then once he joined the band, he was just a fantastic star, and just played wonderful, wonderful guitar with me. And then he does his own music, which is also fantastic. So, you know, I've been watching him for a while, and then it came time when I was thinking of having him join the band, and he did a great job for maybe 7-8 years. And so I always love to support him in whatever he does. And there are a couple other young guys that I've got my eyes on that I keep in mind, and maybe one day will be right for them. But it's really all about how they fit in the band unit, and how the whole show comes out looking. You know, that's very important to me.
Absolutely, and I trust that every single one of them are just going to be absolutely on fire on this tour, because I've seen their videos, and they're nuts. They're insane. So it's going to be incredible. And of course,
thank you so much.
You've also worked with some amazing vocalists as well, like Jorgen Muckenby. I can never say his name properly. I hope he forgives me. Danko Jones, Daniel Tompkins, David Davidson. Man, so many awesome dudes. Is there anyone that you'd want to work with in the future? Someone that you've been trying to nail down for vocals on a song?
I'd love to do collaborations that are unique and magic comes out of them, and it's very organic. They just kind of fall into place. I never really searched out this guy or that guy, but when you're doing music and when you're on the road and you're in the studio, you run into people that you admire, and you can kind of tell by your conversations if it's going to lead to something more than just a friendship. You think it's going to possibly be like kind of a kindred spirit type of thing. We want to do a song together. Like in Jorgen Munkeby's case, I was a big fan of his band Shining, and when we were put together, I just knew immediately that we had to work on something together because it was just a chemistry, and it didn't take more than a few minutes to figure out that we both wanted to do something. So I've worked with him on my last 2 records and actually toured with him. And a lot of those things, they just come out very organic from just the first meeting. You can tell when you found a piece that you'd like to add to your puzzle. And pretty much everybody who's guested on my records has been like that. But Jorgen was really a definite kindred spirit because he's a maniac and perfectionist and really groundbreaking, innovative musician. I really love it.
Mean sax player too.
Yeah. I never thought that I was going to like sax in my music until I met that guy.
I know, right? With the metal, he just makes it work, hey? It's so weird. That I love it too. Incredible. And of course, your wife as well. She's an amazing cellist and has played with you on the albums. How's it working with her? Do you guys jam together, to chill out?
We never play together at home or anything like that. It's very unusual. She's always doing her music and I'm doing my music, and we always try to find opportunities that we can play together. And recently I've been doing an orchestral show every season in Japan, and she's been doing that. But usually we're both in such different directions and such different musical atmospheres that we never get to play together. But when I'm writing the music, I find a place to have her play, and she's just a perfect complement to what I'm trying to do. And it's very easy actually because we can talk about things in detail. You know what I mean? When you just hire somebody to play a part, you're really just in the studio giving directions. But she's seen the entire creative process of all the demos and the months of working on rough versions and remixes and arrangements. So she's heard this stuff from the ground up. So she really knows a lot deeper than a session musician would know what I need to have played. And it's just a joy to get her on as much stuff as possible. Are
you bringing her down with you for at least a trip?
I wish. No, she's not coming to that. She's come on tour a couple times, but never really has that many days off in a row from her own music. So
true. It's
kind of would be really lucky to get her on that. But sometime that's one of the places that she'd really like to visit. And maybe we'll go for a vacation sometime.
It's funny because Australia's not that far away, man. You know what I mean? You could blink your eyes on a plane.
It's not as bad as it used to be. Well, when I was in America, it was just like a impossible distance, but now it's really close by. So I'm actually kind of surprised it took this long to get over there. But a lot of musical opportunities were in other places, and this is the first time that all the stars aligned, and Australia is going to happen. So I'm really excited.
And we are excited, man. I can't stress that enough. And, of course, I mean, living in Japan, I'm sure you've been exposed to a whole range of music over the years. And, where has the most surprising source of inspiration come from there for you?
Well, it's not too much of a surprise that I've gotten a whole lot of influence from Japanese music. But what is pretty surprising is I did some music in Argentina from a composer named Astor Piazzolla, and that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse of what I would normally discover, but I played with his grandson, and it was the most challenging music and most beautiful music that I'd ever played, and I had to play it in Buenos Aires in front of Argentinian people who live and breathe that music. So it was such a challenge, and I haven't had a challenge like that in years. So that was a big surprise to me, and I enjoyed that immensely, and have done many things that have been influenced by that Argentina tango music since then. So even in my own music, there are some nods to that, and that's kind of surprising.
You probably see a lot of the heavy music scene over there, and you know, there seems to be, like I mentioned, my friend Shane, who is nuts for Japanese metal. He just went to England to go to a Japanese festival in England. Go figure. But the speed metal, melodic thrash thing seems to be big with the Japanese bands over there. You got Love Bites and the current female metal boom in Japan at the moment. It doesn't seem to really exist anywhere else. I mean, why is this genre such a massive influence on Japanese metal bands right over there at the moment? Do you know?
I think that you've got it right when you say the genre is a massive influence. The genre itself is a massive influence, but the genre itself is not really very popular at all. What is popular is music that is being made by people who grow up with heavy music and guitar music and thrash music and intense progressive music. A lot of the people who discovered that music grew up to be musicians and have branched out into more mainstream musical fields, and they've injected those kind of flavors into pop music. And that's pretty much what I've done in Japan a lot. You know, I played with groups like Momoito Clover and AKB48, and they're really far from heavy music. But when I played with them and worked with them recording and playing live, I really add that element of heavy music to them. And that's okay in Japan. In Japan, the mainstream allows heavy influences in the mainstream music, whereas in the other countries, like where I grew up in America, there's heavy music and there's non-heavy music, and they don't really mix very much. And Japan is different in that respect.
Yeah, well, it's definitely that way down here in Australia. Like, it's pretty divided.
It is, or it isn't?
It is totally divided here. Like, you're a metalhead or you're mainstream sort of. So I love that. I love hearing that about Japan.
Yeah.
I've got to get my ass over there, eh? I've got to do it.
Oh, you got to come sometime, man. You got to experience it.
I've heard nothing but awesome things. I'd love to tour there. That's like my dream.
I think you definitely enjoy it.
Oh, man, that'd be sick. So, I mean, your Brisbane show, we're looking forward to, especially, as I was going to say before, because, I mean, it's a special show for me, being that you were actually my first introduction to metal many, many years ago. Me and Shane, who I spoke about before, you know, he came back from the Philippines with Rust in Peace and sat there and put it in, loaded in the seat, and just hearing that. And that changed our world, man. And I'm sure that you, all around the world, you hear this. You know what I mean? Like, people come up to you probably randomly in the street and say, you know, you were my into metal. Does it happen a lot to you?
Yeah, I mean, it does, and it never gets tired, and it's always flattering when people like anything that I've done from any period of my career, and always flattering, and it's always welcome. And as long as people are enjoying what I'm doing, then I'm going to keep doing it. And even when they stop enjoying it, I'm going to keep doing it. You know, and even if they hated it, I would keep doing it.
But no one does. That's the thing. And I think, especially, I love the last couple of albums you've released, man. I think they are just I love Inferno a lot. I think that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
We'll be doing a lot of that in Australia.
Have you got a vocals touring with you?
We do sometimes, and sometimes us in the band sing as well. And we usually don't like to announce that, because then people will expect it and wait for it. But sometimes we just do it out of the blue. And sometimes even the guest vocalists from my records have come and played with us live. Like Danko Jones played with us he sang with us in LA on the last tour, and I had Dave Davidson from Revocation come in, and sometimes the people who've guested with us has come up, and we've had singers and guitar players and people of all kinds come up and do that. So I like to do a surprise, but can't promise anything like that in advance.
That's all good, man. That's all good. It's going to be unreal.
I will personally guarantee you're going to leave very sweaty.
Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way, man. What's next for you for after the tour? What's going into 2020 for you?
In 2020, there's a lot of Japan Olympic-related things that I have planned, and a lot of television work, and hopefully a tour of Europe, because I haven't toured Europe in quite some time. I've pretty much only done Japan, South America, and North America over the last 5-6 years. So I get European offers all the time, but it's always been a timing issue where I've been somewhere else and couldn't do it. So I'm going to try to hit Europe and then start work on my new record. And it's going to be a busy year with the Japan Olympics and a lot of the activities I'll have regarding that. But it's going to be busy. All I can say is that much. And exactly what's going to happen, I don't know at this point.
Well, Marty, thanks again for taking the time to hang on the show. Tour kicks off on Wednesday, December 11 in Sydney, but we'll see you on Thursday, December 12 in Brisbane. Tickets are on sale now and selling like hotcakes. Until then, take care, my friends, and keep partying on.
Awesome, brother. Thank you, Nev. Talk to you in Brisbane.